very important story here, and this is a theme that we are seeing. Joining us now is Jeff Poor, editor-in-chief of 1819news.com. Jeff, welcome to the program. Jeff, you guys started reporting on this story that's happening in Alabama, and it seems as if it's happening across the country, of the federal government that is flying in foreigners into these small, conservative, sleepy towns. Now, Alabama is a very conservative state. They didn't vote for having mass Haitian resettlement in their state. Tell us what is real and what is not. Are Alabamans living through a massive wave of foreigners coming into their state?
It could be the very beginning of a wave. At least it looks as such. I would say this. There's these NGOs that seem to be playing a role in this, and they're looking around the state, and they're saying, hey, where can we settle these people? They're not really asking the locals, and that's sort of the rub there. But they're settling in these small towns, and sometimes they're drawn by, like, there's poultry processing plants seem to be a big draw here. It's wherever they can find them work and a place to live, and this seems to be a magnet. And what it's doing, though, is if you've seen some of the national news, is people are like, well, we have a problem with this. The language barrier is one thing. Haitian Creole is not something a lot of people speak, number one. I would say number two, already there's a burden on a lot of the local infrastructure. Let's talk about healthcare, a lot of that, and people don't feel braced for what's going on with this resettlement.
So, yeah, Jeff, let's play some piece of tape here. Let's play cut 88, please.
Rumors of illegal or legal immigrants coming to Fairhope were quickly squashed Monday night by city council members and the mayor, but that didn't appease the concerns of residents.
Legal immigration in Coffee County. Did they ask for it? No, but you did.
One by one, residents took the mic.
I've got plenty of compassion. I've got as much as you do, but you know what's going on in Spring Hill, Ohio.
Concerned about influxes happening across the country. Fairhope residents worry that if it happens here without a plan established ahead of time, the school system will crumble and laws will be broken left and right.
So I'm going to read a little piece of the letter that you signed. We continually hear from our constituents that they believe in and support refugee resettlement, from greeting refugee families at the airport to assisting with English language classes or navigating bus lines. Our communities stand welcome. I don't remember you asking anybody that's here how they felt about that.
So, Jeff, why is it that the leaders of these towns seem so intent on punishing the people that they're tasked to govern?
There is a real disconnect here, and I cannot explain it. And this isn't just a phenomenon in the Fairhope situation, but typically what you're seeing, the state level elected officials and even the congressmen and federal officials are kind of on the side of, hey, whoa, let's hit the brakes on this resettlement program. And these mayors and these city councils are very dismissive of these concerns. And I can tell you this, in Alabama, we have nonpartisan municipal elections. I don't know if they want to ostracize, if they think they're ostracizing half the community or something like that. I mean, it's not really half in Alabama. It's a very red Republican place. That piece of tape you just played, it all stemmed from this. One of the city council president in Fairhope signed a letter, and it was sent to Joe Biden on September 12th of this year. But it just extolled the virtues of these so-called asylum seekers, these refugees, and bringing them to your community and what they offer the community. And it's just all this flowery language. And you see that, and it's almost like it reads like an invitation. Come to our community. So only 3 signatories in Alabama, 2 state lawmakers and the city council president. And I think that's what got people kind of concerned here, because we see it going on in these neighboring towns all around the state of Alabama, that they are resettling these, what I guess we'll call them refugees, for lack of a better term, that are being settled under the CHNV program. And they think, well, did the city council president issue an invitation to bring them here? And why did you do that? We did not say that was okay. We didn't even have a discussion about this. And there's sort of this pushback like, oh, you and your crazy rumor mongering. Go back to your Facebook pages or whatever. I don't know, like almost an elitism with the city council here.
Let's play another piece of tape here. Let's play cut 87.
I'm a Baldwin County resident. My mother-in-law was recently killed in a tragic automobile accident in Grand Rapids, Michigan. This was in June 2022. She was not distracted. She was not on her phone. She was driving under the speed limit, seatbelt buckled, several car distances away, most likely with her hands at 10 and 2. She was as cautious and careful and law-abiding as they come. Born and raised in that area, she served at the local school for over 20 years, volunteered relentlessly at her church. She loved her community dearly and devoted her life to it in many ways. As she drove to pick up cabinet hardware to complete the dream kitchen she had worked on and waited 25 years for, her car rapidly approached a vehicle in front of her on US 131. She slowed and brought her vehicle to a complete stop as she realized that car in front of her was actually in reverse on the interstate. Though she saw him, though she controlled her own vehicle, my mother-in-law was hit from the rear at full speed of 77 miles per hour by another innocent woman. Then her car imploded into the driver in front. They were both killed in the accident. Both Christians, both community servants, one a teacher, one a nurse.
So that was a testimony in Fairhope, Alabama, and she sounds like she's from the Midwest, and I'm not sure if the driver was illegal or not, but albeit very powerful testimony there. So Jeff, I'm curious, has the governor of Alabama come out and spoken against the potential resettling of these foreigners, saying that there will be no resettlement in the state of Alabama?
Governor Ivey's spoken out against it, but here's the way they caveat it. It's like our hands are tied. This is a federal issue. The federal government can do what it wants to do, which obviously to a lot of people here is kind of underwhelming, I think. But the governor's paid lip service. Lieutenant governor, the attorney general, the upper echelons of state government have at least rhetorically pushed back against it. But I don't know that they are necessarily exercising all the tools at their disposal.
Yeah, I just and what percentage of the people in Alabama do you think would be okay with this kind of resettlement program?
I would say very few, maybe 10, 15%. I mean, there's some people who are true believers here, don't get me wrong, but the resettlement program, it's very curious. You can resettle a lot of immigrants or refugee asylum seekers in Alabama and not really face any political repercussions. It's just kind of curious that this is all happening right in the middle of a presidential election. But like sources tell me, or telling 1819 News, like, look, they see that January 20th deadline approaching, and what if Trump is elected? Well, he's going to rescind this CHNV program. And then what the potential next step would be, would we deport these asylum seekers, or whatever you want to call them, this Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans, back to their home countries? Well, he's tried this before. You go back to the travel ban when Trump was first elected president. The first thing we saw when he tried to use his executive authority was these liberal storefronts, ACLU, SPLC types, run to federal court. They'll go find a federal judge. They'll get an injunction. That will stall the process. It'll be appealed in an appeals court, and then eventually the Supreme Court will rule on it, but that could be up to 3 years away. So it's like they're buying time here. But in the meantime, they have this set amount of Haitian refugees or Venezuelans or whoever it is. They're trying to settle at different places around the country.
Yeah, that's a good point. And I mean, look, the American people don't want this, yet it keeps on getting force-fed to us. Jeff, tell us about your news outlet and how people can support you.
It's 1819 News, 1819news.com, where it's kind of a state-based, we need more of this around the country, but at the state level, trying to promote the conservative values, at least getting conservative perspective out there, and make sure that those issues are at least being talked about and brought about in a way that's meaningful and maybe impactful. So it's 1819news.com.